What is a competent man, and what do competent men do that women can't resist? And I don't want to be another girl on your screen just telling you kind of superficial things. I want to be really real and truthful in today's video about what you can do, not only to get women attraction, because honestly, this comes naturally once you understand these principles. For a man to fully be self-assured in who he is, this is something that will actually emit an energy off of you that will magnetize women to you. She's curious about you. You're kind of mysterious. You have all of these traits within yourself that are naturally appealing to women. Because listen, we are going to invest in a man who is self-assured in who he is, self-assured within his capabilities, how he can handle life, the challenges he faces, the conflicts, and, the parts of life that we just can't avoid as human beings. So a man who is confident understands the power of being self-assured. And sometimes you don't really even need to know exactly what you're doing, but whatever you're doing is leading you to the very next thing that's truthfully a blessing in disguise, which allows him to even further his ability to understand himself through challenge. So a man who does not conform to confrontation, but can stand in it, can speak with power. A calm presence in a man is actually an indicator of his very own confidence in himself. He has an ability to control himself. And this takes practice, you guys. This is something within a man that really does showcase that you've been practicing your ability to control yourself in moments of challenge, conflict, or just handling something difficult. Your ability to showcase to other people that it's not affecting you. The outside doesn't need to affect you. You're in control of your own state. And this is something that is so attractive on a spiritual level, not just like the physical. Because listen, we can go over physical all we want. It's not everything, especially to us women. I think men are really wired to appreciate and value a woman's beauty. But for a woman, it's not really like that. A man can have a six-pack abs and all the muscle, but if he doesn't have value to our life, the exchange is not going to be there. This is why it's really important to build confidence from within and not from the materialistic things you have or what you feel like other people are going to admire about you. And that's not to say to avoid success, because I think a successful man is a man who first and foremost has a successful mind, which is also something a woman can't resist. A man with a plan, a man who knows how to take action, a man aligned with something higher than himself, a man of faith, a man of God, a man of higher intelligence, and being open and aware and receptive to these things, a man curious rather than reactive. That is something that we as human beings can all have a little bit more of, is curiosity. Instead of a man who is folding at the sake of something not going right, or becoming the detective in that moment of, why did you say that? Why? I'm actually really curious to know why you disrespected me in that way. Where is that coming from? In a way that's calm, self-assured, curious, and powerful. You're not allowing her to poke your buttons and for her to showcase that she has power over you. No. You have power over the situation by using your words, by listening very, very clearly to what she has to say. And if there's something that you don't like, whether it's with a woman or with a friend, a business partner, a stranger, whatever they did to you, they showed you something within yourself. A man who understands that is something a woman can't resist, because she can't play games with you. Sometimes a woman will test men in ways to see if she can get a reaction, get him heated, get him flustered, to see how he responds, because this is something that's actually wired within women to know about a man. How does he handle conflict? How does he handle her tests? If it's something that provokes fear in the woman or maybe harm to the woman, things like this is something that's really good for her to know, because that could be her deciding factor to not choose you, and vice versa for men. And if it's coming out of a mental state of violence or a physical sense of violence, that's a no-go. and a man who does not tolerate bullshit, a man who is not afraid of confrontation, especially when it needs to be addressed. He's not one to push things under the rug. Let's bring it to the surface. Let's address it in a calm manner. And sometimes being calm is a weapon in a man's tool case, because we expect man to be all heated, to be all egotistical, masculine force. Sometimes the greatest force is in your ability to hold eye contact, using listening as a way to actually understand what's being presented rather than waiting for what you have to say. Because if you're saying something out of a place of not understanding it, you're going to be repeating something based on a trigger. And trust me, I know this firsthand. I say this because this is something that we as human beings do when we're triggered. We don't listen. We tend to listen just so we can respond to something, to make our point. But a man who has the willingness to embrace the discomfort of grace and space in the moments of listening, so he can actually gather his words in a confident way and make himself superior in these moments. And not superior in a bad way or in an egotistical way. No, no, no. Superior in the way of the mind. He has a superior mind, and it's being shown in every given moment. You know, he's like a ninja of the mind. He knows the acrobatics of the mind. He shows this through how he speaks, how he walks, how he talks. His eye contact, his gestures, his conversation, his morals, his value that he adds. This is something women can't resist. We're not wired to resist it. A man who can lead, protect, provide in all of the ways that allows her to embrace femininity, you guys will knock it out the park when you allow yourself to understand these principles and apply them to your life, and not waiting, but becoming. A man who waits for his life to get better is a man who is always going to be behind. But a man who is willing to become all he can be by confronting challenge, confronting himself, and doing the work is a man that is irresistible to women. Because you're not just talk, you're also action. And you actually are the very product of your thinking. And that is something that is magnificent within masculinity and just human beings in general. So I hope this video helped you and perhaps invoked something in you that maybe you didn't know before. But this is it. This is the truth. So if you guys are wanting any one-on-one coaching with me, or you have any questions for me, my email is down below and I would love to hear from you. If you guys liked today's video, give it a like, hit the subscribe button. It means more to me than you know. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.